Today's guest is an artisan who has mastered the art of the pop up. Based in Kingston, Ontario, he is the award winning maker behind Lorianne's Pizzas. Please welcome Meredith Egan. Hi, Meredith.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have you here today.
hmm
So let's go ahead and get started. And I want to talk about your life, from the beginning. Like, were you born and raised in Canada?
Yeah, so I was originally born in Ottawa.
Okay.
So I'm one of six kids. Actually, I have five siblings, four brothers and a sister. So a big Irish family.
Nice.
So yeah, originally born in Ottawa. I grew up all my life there, and I moved out to Kingston when I was 19. I came to go to college here, and I enrolled in a business at St. Lawrence College, and that's how I made my way down here. Yeah, yeah. My brother had come here originally, so I kind of followed him here.
That's
Um,
that's cool.
yeah,
So it's funny because when we first were talking, I didn't notice the Canadian accent, but then
yeah,
during that, I was like, "Oh, for sure!" Like I
yeah,
picked up on it
yeah,
immediately.
yeah. Everyone says I have a little. It's like the Ottawa Valley accent they call it, so it's a little kind of country almost.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So I don't know if a lot of people know this. So my dad is fully Italian, but my mom is part Irish, and so
Nice,
we have some Irish on our side too. And in fact, my brother married an Irish girl, and they just had their first baby. They named him Mac.
nice.
Yeah, very Irish name.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great name.
So can you tell me a little bit, like, what was it like growing up for you?
So growing up was, I mean, I was very fortunate growing up, I mean, obviously having all those siblings around was amazing. We always had a very busy household. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, so there was always lots of cooking happening, there was always home cooked meals, played lots of sports, you know what I mean? We kind of just had like the classic the classic childhood, growing up in the country, we were always outside running around the woods and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah, we had a pretty great childhood growing up out there, so
That's really cool. Also, my mom, she stayed home a lot. We had a family, our pizza place, and she worked
yeah.
there, but we had a very similar, from, Western PA,
Mhm.
running around outside, big family too. I have 5 kids in my family, so when you
Yeah.
said 6 kids, I was like, "Yep, I understand."
Yeah.
Did you guys have, like, a lot of fighting going on in your house?
Yeah, I mean, we were all very close in age as well. I mean, my oldest brother is our half brother, but we grew up with him, like, you know what I mean? We've always said he was our brother, but then it was my older brother, Brendan, then I was 18 months younger, and then my sister was 15 months younger, and then my other brother was 2 years after that, and then there was one more who was about three after, yeah. So we were all very close in age, so there was definitely a lot. I know my dad used to say that, my mom would ask him sometimes, she goes, "Is this normal? Like, are these like, have we raised like feral children, or is this?" And he's like, "This is just boys. Like, it's boys being boys." So we definitely had a bit of it was a little hectic, but I think we all turned out all right. So
Yeah, no, for us too, it was mayhem. In fact, my parents used to call us heathens.
yes, yeah, I do know for sure. Like, I always say to my mom, I'm like, I don't know how you did it without losing your mind raising all of us. And I mean, we were definitely a little crazy sometimes. So
Yeah, yeah, no, we were as well, and we were also very close in age. Now the funny part is, as kids, it was like fist fights, we were competitive, we all had to be
Mhm.
in sports, but now we're all best friends, so now we're all in the family group chat, and we talk all day.
100%. Yeah.
So that's the nice thing about a big family is like, you fight, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be there for each other.
100%. Like, even now, my brother and I, like, he lives in Kingston still as well. He was just here actually, but still now, we know how to push each other's buttons, so we do it. But at the end of the day, it's like that's all. Those are always the people you can call if you need something, and they're always going to be there for you. So I'm really fortunate to have that relationship with my siblings for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Now, so I'm looking at, what you told me about your mom always cooking, so it seems like you've kinda grown up around some pretty amazing food.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when we were younger, definitely trying to please so many kids. It wasn't the most, you know what I mean? It was pretty classic home cooked meals, but we definitely grew up on home cooked food all the time, which was amazing. And I mean, we didn't have. I mean, I have the memories also of like being at my grandparents, and some of my favorite food memories are probably being out there with all my cousins, and my grandmother would be in the kitchen cooking all day, a big ham and scalloped potatoes and kind of the big like family meals and stuff like that. So I definitely have a lot of great memories of growing up around stuff like that.
That's so cool. So
Yeah.
now when did you, like, kinda have your first pizza experience?
So when I moved, like, are you when I started making pizzas, or are you kind of just like in general?
Well, like, as a kid, was it like, okay, did you have something where you're like, "I love pizza, it's my favorite food," or, like, how did you kind of, like did you guys eat pizza a lot as a kid?
I mean, yeah, we did. We definitely did. Like, it was probably more of like a Friday or Saturday night thing, but we definitely had our local pizza spots that we all loved growing up. Our whole family all enjoyed the same pizza, which was like a classic, like tomato sauce, mozzarella, pepperoni, and green olives. So that was our
Mm.
our family pizza growing up for years. Like that was what we always ordered. But yeah, there was a couple local spots that we would get pizza from often. That was the kind of the classic. I don't even. I guess it's kind of like an Ontario style. It's like the thicker crust with thick cheese and big pepperoni under the cheese. You know what I mean? So it's definitely not my
Yeah.
favorite anymore, but it's definitely nostalgic when I get to have it for sure. It brings me back.
Yeah, no, I know what kind of pizza you're talking about. Now,
Mhm.
so when was it like, when did you get introduced, like, "Okay, I'm gonna start making pizza now?"
So that was like when I moved to go to college. So I would have been around 19 or 20. I got a job at a restaurant in Kingston called the Grizzly Grill. So I
Okay.
started washing dishes there, and they had a wood fired pizza oven. And I kind of slowly worked my way up, and I got onto the line. I started making pizzas, and that's kind of where I fell in love with like cooking in general, I think, is like, and I decided, okay, I'm going to try and pursue this as a career. And yeah, I was the pizza guy there for a long time, and we did that whole thing there. And then I moved up. I was doing hot side. I was doing salad. So I was kind of running things there for a short amount of time. And then I moved on to another restaurant called Wooden Heads, which is kind of like a Kingston institution. It's been around for like 30 years now, I think. And they do pizzas. They have another big wood oven, and they're like an Italian kind of restaurant. So I was still there actually. I've been there for around 7 years now. I was a sous chef there. I just kind of took a step back actually to focus more on my own stuff. But yeah, so then that's kind of brought me to here. During COVID, we were fortunate enough where our parents all gave us a little bit of money to kind of they kind of knew money was tight, and they were like, "Here, you guys can have this, kind of use it to do something for yourself." I think my brother got a golf membership for the summer. I bought
Yeah.
a Gosney Roccbox, which is funny because my girlfriend at the time, my now wife, and I lived in a tiny little 2-bedroom apartment, no balcony. I had nowhere to use this thing, so I had it, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? And then yeah, and then it kind of snowballed after that. I would bring it to friends' houses, to my grandparents' house. We were making pizzas. Eventually, started doing some pop ups.
Take me back to right around COVID and kinda tell me what was happening then.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough that at the restaurant I was at, we had a really great takeout operation. I mean, we did a lot of pizzas, but then a lot of entrees that were just traveled very well. So they were extremely busy during COVID still, which was kind of rare for a restaurant. So obviously we were very fortunate. I got to go back to work right away, which kind of kept us away from the, sitting in the apartment, kind of not doing too much, which was kind of nice.
Mhm.
And then yeah, then I bought that oven, and I I kind of that's when I fell in love with making pizzas for sure. I kind of decided I kind of wanted to pursue it, and I just from there kept every week, probably once every week or a couple times a week. I was bringing my oven to friends' houses or to my brother's place, and we were making pizzas. And I was fortunate enough to know a lot of people in the city who kind of ran restaurants and bars and stuff like that. So there was a brewery here called Stone City Ales that's unfortunately not around anymore, but the girl who ran it at the time was like, "Hey, you should come to a pop-up here." So I was lucky enough. I think I brought 60 pizzas the first time. I think we ended up selling out, which was great. You know what I mean? I had a great support system here. I knew a lot of people in the industry, so had a lot of friends come out, and a lot of support the first time, which was great. And yeah, and then we just kind of slowly kept getting bigger and bigger. Now I do a farmers market every Sunday, which I live right across the street from it actually, which is extremely convenient.
Nice.
But yeah, at farmers market every Sunday, I do a lot of weddings and events and kind of backyard parties and that sort of thing. And yeah, we're slowly looking for a brick and mortar here. So we're
Wow.
yeah, we're moving in the right direction, which is great. So
That's very cool. So you had all this experience making pizza, and then you get to your first pop-up, and was it everything that you thought it would be, or did it not go the way that you wanted?
I mean, I feel like I'm extremely hard on myself when it comes to these kind of things. So
I
I
think we
think
all
from the
are.
outside, I think, like my wife was there with me, and she would have said it all went great. I think I probably had a lot of criticisms towards myself about stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it went pretty well. I mean, like I said, I was so fortunate to have people who were good friends and who were reaching out and like offering these spaces to do pop-ups and offering to help and bringing people and posting things on social media and Instagram and stuff like that. So it definitely made it easier having such a great support system around me for sure.
Yeah, I think people really rally around and support pizza and just food in general.
Yeah. Especially being after COVID like that, I think, everyone was kind of doing these things to try and make some money because everyone had kind of been, a little low on cash. No one's working as much. Uh,
Yeah.
everyone just kind of hopped on like we were going to other pop-ups of friends, and my brother and a friend of his were doing a burger pop-up. So it was a really fun time for sure to be a part of all that.
That's awesome. So when someone kind of walks up to the pop-up, like what are they going to expect to see from you guys?
I'm usually there building pizzas. We have my wife, Rebecca, who runs like the front. She does the cash and kind of hands pizzas out, takes orders.
Mhm.
And then a good friend of mine named Mitch, who works with us, he does all the cooking of the pizza. So we kind of have a great little thing going with the three of us. Yeah, it's pretty like classic farmers market. Like we have a stack of boxes sitting on the front table, a big stack of boxes.
Mhm.
We do about 120 pizzas on a Sunday usually.
It's a lot.
We usually sell out, so we go from 9 to 2.
Mhm.
And I mean, that wasn't always the case. Like, we've kind of built quite a good following over the last couple of years. There's my 3rd year there. So it's great to see these people who have been coming back for 3 summers in a row, you know what I mean? Like, I've been getting some messages. People are like, "We're so excited to have you back." Like, so it's definitely nice to have those connections in that community that gets built through things like farmers markets and stuff like that. So
Yeah. No, I think it's awesome that you started this and then it's just sort of grown since you started it. It's kind
mhm.
of amazing to hear that type of story of just getting the support and then just like seeing a business flourish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's nice, doing these, like, Kingston's a small enough, like, town, like, I think there's 140,000 people here, but you have 2 huge schools, so there's Queens and St. Lawrence. I think they bring in, like, it's like 30,000 people the population jumps by.
Wow.
So it's a smaller city, but it's got a great community, especially within the restaurant industry. Like, if you're in the industry, you kinda know everybody, you have connections everywhere, and everyone's just so supportive. It's so nice having all these people who come out and support each other and are always looking out for each other, and, if you need a hand, someone's there to lend you a hand. If you need an ingredient, you can go next door to a restaurant, someone will loan you that for the night, you know what I mean? It's nice having that great sense of community for sure.
Yeah, so cool. What's the thing that you love the most about making pizza?
I think it's just like, I don't know, I kind of get like lost in it a little bit. It was funny, like when I did the Pizza Expo thing at the Canadian, I was so nervous, like super nervous, sitting there in the crowd waiting to be called up. You know what I mean? I kind of sat there for a few hours watching all the other competitors go up and cook. And then as soon as I got up there, I just was like, oh, I've done this a million times. I've worked in open kitchens. I do pizzas at the market, making stuff in front of people. So I just kind of get into my zone. You know what I mean? And kind of like forget everything that's going on around you. And yeah, it just kind of, it's a calming thing, I guess. Which also isn't. I mean, I definitely have some crash outs when things don't go my way, when the dough's not doing well and you have 120 dough in a dough box and you're not sure if they're gonna turn out the way you want them to, but yeah, for the most part, it's just calming. I enjoy cooking for people, I always have. I enjoy having people over and cooking and watching people have that first bite and enjoy themselves. It's a pretty great feeling.
Yeah, no, that first bite, there's so many people on the podcast that tell me like they love seeing someone take the first bite of their
Oh, yeah.
pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. And then you have people who come back every week, you know what I mean? Like we have a lady named Margot who comes to the market every single Sunday, and she gets a pizza. She's always the first customer at 9 o'clock, and she's been doing it for 2 years now. So it's great having those relationships and people that want to keep coming back to eat your product is a great feeling.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely the best thing I think too about making pizzas, just having that continual support of the people who come and they're your fans over and over again.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
Now take me through your menu and how you kind of put this together.
So now our menu it's not more expansive. I guess when I first started, I think I was just doing 2 pizzas. I probably did like a cheese, a margarita and like a salami, I think I did. And now we have on the menu at the market, we have a marinara. It's just very classic. We have a margarita, a pepperoni, like a hot salami.
Mm.
And I do as a weekly special, which I try and speak with some of the other local vendors, some of the farmers that are in the farmers market, and try and take something from one of their stands and kind of implement it, kind of go with the season as the seasons change and take what's available. So yeah, so we try and do a special every week. I think last year we were pretty close to one every week. There was a couple weeks where it was a little hectic.
Hmm.
I mean, last year I was still working full time at the restaurant and doing this on the side, so it was a lot in the summer. It was, a few months of 7 days a week. But yeah, I guess it's what you got to do to kind of grow and hustle, So yeah.
That's cool. Is there a special where you're like, this is the best one I've made? This is my favorite?
I did one that I took to the pizza event actually where I came second, which was one of my favorites. It's super fresh, which is just an olive oil base, mozzarella, andouille, roasted butternut squash, red
Mm.
onion, basil, and parm. And
Wow.
it's a nice light summery pizza. Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. So I said that's probably one of my favorites that I did last year, I think. And but I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, that sounds
I
awesome.
honestly lose track of the specials. I have a note in my phone that just has, you know what I mean, like a list. Every time I think of an idea, you can kind of write something down, and yeah.
How does somebody find you guys? Like, what is the schedule?
So from May to October, every Sunday, we're at the Memorial Center Farmers Market. We do
Okay.
miss a couple here and there. I try and get people to fill it in for me, but we take one trip in the summer, my wife and I usually. So, but we're there every Sunday, and then I usually post like a weekly thing on my Instagram story that will say kind of where we're going to be. So definitely the best way to reach us is through Instagram. Yeah, and I have all my email and everything like that on there. So that's probably the best way for sure.
All right, guys, I want you to go and follow them, Lori Ann's Pizza Co. on Instagram. And then I did have one last question for you. Where did the name come from?
So it's my mom's name actually. Lorianne is my
That's
mom's name.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember when I first started doing my own thing and I decided I wanted to open up a pizzeria, I always said I would call it Lorianne's Pizza. Yeah, here we are, 5 years later and we're still rolling. So
That's very, very cool. Well, I hope
mhm.
you find your brick and mortar and for you guys to continue to grow. I mean, the pizza looks next level amazing. I've been like scrolling
Thank
your
you.
Instagram
Thank
page
you.
and
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
yeah, you can see that you guys put so much heart into it.
Hmm.
Meredith, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much, Erica. I love what you're doing and I'm really happy I got to be a part of it. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, me too.